Ooh, that was very official. Hey, Denise, thanks for meeting up with me and talking just a little bit about different platforms that people can use for free, which I know you and I are in the same boat when it comes to like free stuff and being able to grow with that. It's like the bee's knees, right?
That's right.
So for everyone that's tuning in, why don't you do a little introduction for yourself, Denise?
Well, first of all, I'm so pleased to be here in the virtual video space with you. You're one of my favorite people. So to talk with you and talk shop, I'm super stoked. So I guess the best thing to tell, way to describe myself is that I'm a digital publicist, if you will. So what I like to use is the digital space in a variety of ways to help my clients build awareness about all the cool stuff that they're bringing in the world. And that's, website, social media, and getting interviewed, for example, you're a brilliant photographer. You've got some clever, creative ideas. So to be able to share that expertise, I mean, it's kind of meta because we're doing an interview or conversation right now. But to get on, there's thousands of podcasts out there, for example, there's other blogs and such, but to use that space digitally to build community. So you can then maybe find some clients or customers in there in a very organic, genuine, authentic way. That's what I like to do. So my business, if I can say the name, is CTD Creative Consulting. It's helping clients connect the dots to their creative success.
That is perfect. And for everyone else out there, I'm Erica Stewart with Eclix Photo. I am your commercial, lifestyle, and wedding photographer. So really love helping people, especially brand new businesses or businesses that are growing with their content creation and just getting in tune with their brand and making photos that's really going to speak to their audiences, which is always super great. But yeah, I'm just like really glad we are meeting up to do this little snippet on how to use social media and just the platforms. Just feeling honored we can create this video, especially with today's world. Like I'm in Michigan, you're in Rhode Island, and we're able to still do this.
And we're talking on the internet on video.
It's like we haven't even skipped a beat. Oh man. Okay. So being that you are a very successful superwoman publicist helping other businesses with their digital presence and building brand awareness, I just wanted to chat a little bit, since we go hand in hand, about your favorite social media platform. So what would you say out of all the social media is the best one to use for a small business?
Well, let me just preface this with a very long answer. Actually, in all seriousness, social media, there's so much opportunity. Then it doesn't drive you a little crazy. It's like, all right, I figured out how to use this. And then all of a sudden they change it or it goes away. And that's just the nature of the beast, right? But I'm really astonished by how few business owners leverage LinkedIn. Again, another meta moment, because I think you're going to show this video on LinkedIn. But everyone's like, well, why? Well, not everyone. A few people will say, I generalize a lot. Sorry.
Okay.
A few people might say, oh, well, LinkedIn, that's your, online resume. And sure, it can be that, right? If you're job seeking, it could be a great way, right? But really, again, it is social media. And I'm a fan of keeping this social in media. And what that means to me, it's about people. So it is a space as a business owner that you can use it to just toot your own horn, because I'm a big fan of that and encouraging folks to do that. You can amplify the messages of other people in your world. And you can talk about your own expertise, right? Leveraging the space so you could really grow as not my term, but social currency, if you will. So it's a space as a business owner that you can use it so effectively to connect to other business owners or even clients, customers, and all the while using it to share knowledge, to make that connection, and to demonstrate, what the heck you're talking about.
Yeah. I like that social currency. That's
Yeah.
strong. That's good.
I wish I made that up, but that's not my phrase. I'm not going to own that because that's not mine.
All right, fine. I would have let you, but you're honest, so that's good. So like, how do you use LinkedIn? Like, you give us a little bit of example, but like, what's the best way to use it?
Well, first and foremost, if you have it, you need to use it. I think one of the worst things folks can do is create a social media presence and then it sits there and then someone happens to stumble or it's connected on your website and then people, oh, she's on Twitter or she's on Insta or whatever. And they go and like, oh my God, her last post was in 2017.
Oh yeah.
So clearly they're not really there. So first off, I just want to say it's really important that if you have a social channel, if you're not using it, just make it go dormant for the time being and just focus on one channel or whatever your bandwidth is. Okay. But the way I use LinkedIn is it's a way for me, and I sort of answered this in the last question, but it bears repeating, is that if I got something going on in my world professionally, whether it's meeting someone or going somewhere in the community or learning a new thing or reading an article that I saw either on LinkedIn or some other location. I thought, oh my God, this is great information, or this is a great person, or this is a great idea. I use that space to amplify it. I have a little thing, as you know, Erica, called Amplification Allies, and it's really just working with others to help get the word out about all this great stuff, right? Whether it's service, product, or ideas. So I also, like to know a lot of people. I am struggling with some childhood issues about being popular or not being popular in that case. I'm totally kidding here. Not really. Half kidding. But I think I'm a people person, right? I'm an extrovert and I love connecting with folks, and I'm a convener and a connector. So here is yet another way I use LinkedIn. Oh, you live in the Michigan area and you're looking for photographs for your family. I know someone in that area. Let me connect you on LinkedIn, right? Or I know someone who wants to build a travel business. Oh, I met so-and-so at the Lunch Club app. Okay. And they're a travel agent. So I can make that connection, right? Also, I find, I think it's a cultural thing that we're not comfortable about sharing with the world our wins and our accolades.
Yeah.
And I love celebrating other people's wins, right? And so I use it to do just that, to say, well done, Erica, on scoring that big contract, or well done, Jim, for opening up a new business. Because I think it's a great space and great energy to put out in the world. Now, some people are really tight with that space, and it's an interesting thing, and we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. And I'm not going to get judgy. Okay, I'm a little judgy. All right. But again, it just goes back to it's a social media presence, right?
Yeah.
So I think using it to talk about what you have to offer the world and to showcase the people that you know is a great way, and making connections so we can do more in the world to make the world a better place. I mean, right?
Yeah, that's great. And like, what better way to do it? And now it's not only like celebrating other people's like wins and all the good feel stuff, but you're now spreading it amongst like other professionals, which is really super major.
Yeah, it's very organic and grassroots, and it's just building and building and building our networks for one another. And at my heart, my love language is service.
Yeah.
So I see it as a service for other business professionals, to help promote their business, their services, and make connections with other folks.
That's perfect. So we talked a lot about things you should do. What about the things that you shouldn't do on LinkedIn?
Okay, so one of them is don't have a dormant, inactive profile.
Right.
Make it, have a dormant, but just don't leave it there with nothing on there. It's not a dating app. Don't be go trolling for your next girlfriend or boyfriend.
Wait, hold on.
Not for me. Not me. That's not me.
You've seen it before?
It is a professional space, people. It is not. I mean, you can get a little goofy, but it's not the place for the cute pig videos either, right?
Okay, fair enough. Yes.
Okay. What else should you not do? Don't lie. Don't make stuff
Always
up.
good.
And also, and this I think different people have different opinions on this. Back in the day, way back when in LinkedIn, you would never reach out to a random stranger. You couldn't do it, I don't think, technically on LinkedIn. And then it opened up and loosened up. So I'll get like some really random, hey, you want to connect? I don't even know who they are. I'll look to see, we might have mutual connections, but I would never do that personally or professionally without some context. Right. Oh, I see, you know, Erica and Trudy and Bob, and I know them as well. And I'm wondering if we can connect here, you know?
Yeah.
What is also related to that, not a good thing, I don't think, is not, yeah, don't do this. If you're a salesperson, right? Hey, let's connect. I see what, and then immediately say, hey, you want to buy my widget? Right.
Yeah.
Another thing that drives me batty, which just started, now you got me going. I'm rolling here. I get this random connect request of some guy, I don't know, who's asking me to give money to his GoFundMe page because he's putting out a new album.
Stop it.
Okay, I'm not kidding you. So you can imagine or not imagine, I did not accept that connect request.
You did it? That's weird.
And nor did I give him any money, but I wish him well on his project. But being aware that it is relationship based, right? It's social media. So don't just randomly connect with folks without any context. And I don't think you want a profile that doesn't have all the content there, meaning, you know, there's a, oh my gosh, I just forgot the name of it. Not the profile, but the header image,
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't have a header image, and it's so easy.
That's
Okay, so easy. But when someone goes to your profile and you don't have a complete profile, they're like, what's going on here? All right.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of tips about what to do with that. So we'll maybe get to that later. I think maybe the next question, I don't know, but those are some of the things like I would recommend not doing on LinkedIn.
Definitely. So leading into that, obviously, with like header photos or anything like that, like what are some good tips for LinkedIn for your profile?
So again, not my idea, but I love it so much, is doing the following with your name field, because you want, again, it's building awareness about who you are in the world and what you have to offer. So I heard this tip from a gal in one of my networking groups. So you have a first name field and a last name field. So typically when you write first name, last name, here's the hack. I love using that word hack. I'm too old to use the word hack.
No, you're not. Use it.
Here's a hack for you. So first name, put your full name in that field. Last name, put your branding statement or your power words. So the idea is anytime someone tags you, anytime you post, it just doesn't say Denise Kowalczyk. It says Denise Kowalczyk, your personal digital publicist.
Perfect. Gosh, that's great.
Whoever came up with that idea, brilliant, right?
You just like, and every time that your name comes up, now that's tied to you and it will forever be like ingrained. That's so good.
Exactly. So that's a super cool tip that I love to share with everyone I talk to about. Another tip, probably from the same gal, is in your bio. You know, when someone first comes to your profile, your whole bio is not open. You have to hit more to see it. So the first sentence or the first few words should be your branding power words, right? So whatever that is, make sure that's the first thing that's coming up on. So when people come to the profile, they're seeing key things. Oh, she's a strategist, brand positioning, social media, LinkedIn, you know, whatever it is, it's the first thing that pops up. Also, you want to have a professional headshot. We're going to be talking about that. I know iPhones, even the new Samsung, I love my new phone, makes some really cool filters. But really for a space like this, you need to be professional. It is a professional social media channel. So getting, investing in that with a professional headshot is key. And being clear on your own brand positioning. Listen, I am not an expert in brand positioning. I know enough to get myself in trouble. No, to help my clients. Okay. But you, as a small business owner, solopreneur, entrepreneur, multipreneur, I just learned that word yesterday.
Ooh.
You need to have a clear sense of what you're doing, your brand. And so your profile needs to reflect that, right? So if you are, for example, I'm just going to make this up on the fly. Let's say you're a meditation yoga person. You might not want fuchsia pink as colors in your images or what have you, or words that say bang, pow, whatever. You want maybe some more subdued coloring in your images and the language and the words and your keywords in there to reflect that brand.
Yeah.
Am I missing anything, Erica?
I don't think so. I think that was like, that's perfect.
Oh, and another thing,
What else?
you always want to grow your connection. So here's the thing.
That's right.
If someone goes to your profile and they said, oh, she knows 237 people. Oh, come on. You know more than 237 people. All right. You want that number to say 500 plus. All right. So you want to be thoughtful. Earlier comment, just don't random connect.
Right.
But every person you meet, you go to a networking meeting, you have a client meeting, you meet someone at the bar, you decide not to go out on a date, but they might be a great connection professionally. Okay. You want to find them on LinkedIn and make that connection. Now, can I talk about what I also love to do, which is related to amplification? So I just did the lunch club thing. It's a LinkedIn app. And I was telling Erica about this off mic or off camera. But whenever I meet someone for the first time, get to know them, one of the things I like to do is do a post about that on my profile. So it still ties into my whole ethos of trying to each one help one to build awareness about each other's work in the world. And I'll tag them and put a little, try to be funny sometimes, but I don't know how often that is, with a picture of our visit. And then ask them, like that, comment on it. And then you share that post and put a little blurb too on your profile. That's a great way to use the space too.
Definitely. And it just shows with your connections that you actually are connected. It's not just that random, oh, let's add each other. I don't even know you, but let's add each other kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Good. Last thing I just wanted to ask you, like, as a publicist, like, are you often on LinkedIn looking for opportunities for like interviews of different people or connecting other people, or like, how do you use the space as a publicist?
So I use it to see what's trending for tips and possible connections to make with one another. So as I'm slowly building up my business of connections, I'm looking for other podcasters or other influencers or things of that nature that might make a good connection with my clients. So for instance, I work with a client who's an expert in Italian ancestry research, right? So I want to use that space and her space to amplify that brand and that offering. And then I want to look at other opportunities, people she's connected with, to comment, share their posts. So they're seeing, oh, okay, client ABC is sharing out my work and my articles on LinkedIn, which we didn't go into all the bells and whistles of LinkedIn. Just go look at that.
A lot to share.
But really, again, it's back to that social engagement and meaningful connection with folks, not just merely liking, but engaging and sharing out. And then that way, my client is then in that space with that other person's profile or company page, and that's building awareness about what they do in the world. Oh, look at that. It's ABC client, expert Italian researcher, because we put that in her first name and last name field. And then it's like, oh, I'm curious if I do have Italian ancestry. I'm going to go check out and see what she's got to offer.
That's so cool. Absolutely love it. And I love that, like, there's so much to it too. Yes. Like, we could do an entire session on it.
I know. And maybe I think we're going to, but spoiler alert, we won't talk about that right now.
That is awesome. But I agree with you. Like when starting a business, it's super important. Oh, hold on one second. Get out of here, download. It is super important to have your imagery together that represents all that you have on your profile too. So like if you do have, like you were saying, the strategist, putting the social back into media, those kind of things on your LinkedIn bio, it's important to have those photos to back it up. Just because with connecting the dots really kind of a little bit, it's like connecting those things together. So if you have a post that you're doing on LinkedIn to talk about your expertise in a special area, if you have a photo that goes perfectly with that, it's very good to have. That is for sure.
Exactly. And, I touched on, excuse me, the option to write articles. So when you do posting, that's one thing. Articles are another piece of content on LinkedIn. But if you're being strategic, let's say you're rolling out a new product or a new service, to have professional images to invest in that photo stock, you can use that in any number of ways and repeatedly, right? Because then it starts building awareness and connection to what your business is. Yeah,
most definitely. And those photos can be used across different platforms, that's for sure. But having that professional, you're able to use it on LinkedIn. Where like if you use, Instagram or something like that, you can use your iPhone pictures or your Android pictures or whatever the case is. It's a little less serious, but you want that super professional look, which is good.
I agree. So I have some questions for you.
Sure.
Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. So in your professional, expert, amazing opinion, when you're maybe just starting a business, right? What do you think is the most important thing for a new business owner to consider as far as visually?
Yeah. First and foremost, just having your headshot. There's been times where like, way back when I started back in 2013, I had a mom book me for a wedding for her daughter. And when I was talking with her, I was like, oh, well, how'd you find the profile? How did you find me? The website, blah, blah, blah. Because I was still pretty new at it. And she said, honestly, I found a headshot of you and I knew what you looked like. So I was able to build trust with you because I knew you weren't going to show up at the wedding with dark, thick makeup, kind of gothic piercings. Like it was
not that there's anything wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all. But that's not what she was looking for. So she said, that just gave me the confidence in you because I knew what you looked like. Just because I knew you wouldn't be someone we weren't planning on having to shoot the wedding. They want that cheerful, bubbly person. I'm that cheerful, bubbly person, which is good. So I would say that is definitely very important to have is first and foremost, some new headshots. Secondly, if you have some behind the scenes working, like if you say make invitations or something, having that hands-on behind the scenes of you doing the calligraphy or writing or like performing a packaging of the invites, having that behind the scenes photos, super major.
Oh yeah.
That'll get you going.
You could also use some of that imagery in the header on your profile on your company page.
Which is perfect. That's good.
It's a great idea. Okay. So we've already established I know hardly anything about branding. But what is a branding shoot exactly?
So a branding shoot there's two different things kind of, but it goes hand in hand. So there's like a personal branding shoot, and that's more all about you. Personally, I like plants, as you can tell. I have a crap ton of plants everywhere. So like, I like plants, I like camping, I like having bonfires, taking the dog for walks, stuff like that. That's my personal branding. I would identify with that. Okay. With your business branding, it's what does your business do? Like, what are the things it stands for? What are there like charities that you donate to? Things like that. Like, what is your business branding stat? Like, where do you stand? And that's more or less to connect deeply with your clients. So with today's age and social media and having so much information about a person and their business and what they do, having that background information of this is who we are, this is what we do. Like I do photography, you're a publicist. This is what we do on like the surface of it, but deep down, like here's what we support, here's what we believe. Those are all part of it being in your brand. I would say with your branding shoot, it's just bringing out that personality of yourself and your business and just saying, hey world, here I am, here's what I stand for, which is really super good.
Okay, that's a great answer. And I have a disclaimer. Erica's taken my gorgeous photos for my website. And I want to just say that she captured me and my essence that comes through, which is huge, right? Really huge. So she's a kick butt, I didn't curse, kick butt photographer who can help really bring that out, right? Maybe you're not even sure. Remember I was saying a lot of businesses don't know what their brand is.
Yeah.
You can help them articulate that visually.
Yeah. It's a lot of question like answering and stuff like that. But I mean, once you get down to it and boil it down a bit, it's a little bit easier and it gives you a little bit more of a direction on where to go, even for your LinkedIn page or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right on. Now, how would someone prepare for such a shoot as that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So a lot of it, again, is just answering a bunch of questions. So I kind of hold with it and just see what we need to do, what needs to be covered, and who your ideal client is. From there, we kind of dive in to see, okay, what would this person want to see? Like for yourself, you love helping smaller businesses. So we're not going to be like in the middle of a city where you're dressed like crazy in a business suit and stuff like that, because that's just not your client really. It's rather someone that's a little more relaxed who does have a small business, but they enjoy their time out. So they want to have that balance of work life, personal life. So I would say for preparing for a branding shoot, it's just like, first step, let's chat. And then that way we can talk about what photos need to be accomplished and how to do it, where it should be, what needs to be brought in and stuff like that. But it's a lot of just planning and talking back and forth and getting down to the root of what your business is and what you stand for. Yeah.
And where should you take photos like that? Where should they be taken?
Honestly, it just depends on the person. So if we go back to your, what do we call it? I used to work in a bridal salon. We would call it our Susie. So going back to our Susie of the yoga meditation client. So for her, again, it wouldn't make sense to be in a busy area with a lot of chaos going on, but rather somewhere a little more serene, maybe like on a beach or like in the mountains or somewhere super calm. With other people, just depending if we go back to the invitation person, then maybe in her office or in her studio or on location at a wedding, helping planning, talking with her clients, something like that. But those are all just based on the client, changes every single day.
And I love that you help the client figure that out.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to flip onto the other side of the camera because you are the photographer, but you've got service at heart too. Aren't you putting together some workshops or something to help photographers? Again, this is the other side of the camera. What's the scoop on the workshops?
Yeah, so for the workshops, they're for other photographers to learn just on a basis how to build a community of other creative photographers. Because when you're a creative, I'm sure you get it too. You feel like you're just a drop in the ocean and you don't have someone to like come and give you a hug, essentially, that's in the same exact field. Yeah. But with photographers, we're kind of like cereal boxes. We have different flavors. We have different health benefits. Some are really super fruity. Some are super chocolatey, you know. Yeah. So like to know a big connection of different photographers is major because you're not going to have a client that comes to you every single day and it's like, you're exactly what I want. It might say, oh, but I really love this moody style, and it might not be your style. Yeah. So having that community is great. And then if you ever have a bad day, you have that community to turn to be like, this happened. Oh my gosh. And 9 times out of 10, it's like, girl, been there.
Excellent. You're hosting 2 sessions, one in New Hampshire?
New Hampshire, yes. One in New Hampshire and one in Michigan. Okay. And that's just to get that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you'll put your website thing, you know, because I wanted to let folks know about that because it's a great opportunity for professionals, because we are on LinkedIn, the professional social network. Okay. To see if they might be interested in that.
Perfect. That is good. But I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I need to go back to my LinkedIn profile right now and make sure I have all the tips.
And well, speaking of tips, and this has been a great conversation, you and I are working on a learning session, if you will, to talk about this stuff a little bit more deeply. We'll have more to share, but it's going to be sometime in October, right? I think we
Yes.
talked
Yep.
about.
I think we have the 14th or something like that.
Yeah,
but-
October 14th sounds about right. So watch LinkedIn, the professional networking social media channel for more on that. This has been
We'll
great.
definitely, yeah, we'll release more information when it gets to it. That's
Yeah,
for
when we're closer. We're a little ways out, but this has been great fun, Erica.
Yes, I agree. I totally agree. And this was just like, it's so good to just chat a little bit in the morning about things that matter and just using the free platforms that we can.
Yeah, right on. Right on.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Denise.
Thanks, Erica.
See you later.